Hey people, it's Steel Gamer here with a different type of Diablo 3 video that I'll be doing a short series on. And the first one I'm making here is the Affixes video. Now there are two reasons why I'm making this video. First is for self-satisfaction. But secondly, and more important, I've read too many people posting things on a forum and seeing stuff in the game where they actually believe that the greater rifts are actually balanced. And so the people that are using that word are balanced either don't know what it means, aren't applying it correctly, both, or they're trolling. So the point here is that I originally said in a topic on the forum that since the appearance of the Corpse Lance build with Necromancer has become popular, Blizzard has increased the amount of range damage elite affixes appearances more often to circumvent that, because you can't have a build being overpowered now, can you? So it basically, every time a build becomes powerful, Blizzard will do something to the game to circumvent that and cancel out the ability for the build to become so, to do its job. Now, obviously I get called a troll, things like that, but the fact remains is that Mortar has increased. The appearance of Mortar on Elite Affixes has increased exponentially. It's absolutely ridiculous. And what basically prompted me to make this video is that when I was doing a Greater Rift with my Demon Hunter here, I wound up seeing 15 Mortar Affixes in 3 rifts. It was absolutely ridiculous how many Mortar Affixes I actually saw. Now, the thing here is as you can see in the upper corner, there are 27 affixes the elites can have. If this game is true RNG, a list that big cannot keep, favoring certain affixes over others. Meaning, the RNG in this game is completely broken, which is why rifts become unbalanced. Now, this is coming from people that think that the rifts and greater rifts and elite affixes are balanced because they don't seem to have a problem with certain ones, but that doesn't change the fact that it doesn't matter which of the same affixes are being picked over and over again above others. The fact that true RNG won't have that happen, and it simply can't have it happen. Yes, once in a while you overlap, but when you have this many affixes, then the percent of each affix being appeared is exactly the same, which means the only possible way that the elite affixes can be favored over another is if the percentile on that elite affix is higher than the others. So in this particular case, what you do is you divide, you have to figure out how many elite affixes there are, which in this case there's 27. So what times what equals 27? So in this particular case, it's 3 times 9 is 27. So that means either A, the elite affixes all have a 3% chance of showing up, which makes them lower in that regard, to make the frequency of them appearing as rarer, or you have a 9% chance of showing up, of each one showing up. So each one should have a 9% chance or a 3% chance, but regardless of which way you do it, no affix should be being favored over another one. It's as simple as that. That's how this works. So, rather than, discuss it like people do on a forum, they think talk is all that matters. Despite when anybody shows proof, somebody thinks that talk overrides actual proof, which is why this video is not even going to matter. But I'm just doing it for self-satisfaction. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the GRs using this build. And every time an elite affix comes up, I'm going to mark on this paper what elite affix showed up or combinations of them, and then at the end of the rift, I'm going to do 3 rifts. At the end of them, we're going to actually see how unbalanced these greater rifts are. So if the people who think the greater rifts are balanced are in for a rude surprise, because like I said, I was doing greater rifts with this build, and it doesn't just apply to the Necromancer for range. 15 mortar affixes within the first. It was ridiculous. Why is there that many affixes? So in this series, I'm actually going to be going through showing that the monster appearance. I'm going to have a list of monsters, and I'm going to put which ones are showing up more frequent than others, and then I'll be doing the appearance of what is it? It was I don't want to say pylons, but it's basically, you'll see, there's a list of them. So I'm going to do a GR75 right now, which should bring, I'm going to try to get this. And we're going to count, as I said, we're going to show you just how bad the unbalancing of these riffs are. So every time I said, I'm probably going to die a lot because I'm showing the elite affixes here, not how many are, not trying to actually accomplish this. So if I run out of time, it doesn't really matter. So let me see here. Alright, so first thing, we have Juggernaut, Waller, Wormhole, and Frozen. So let me back out here. Juggernaut, Waller, Wormhole, and Frozen. So let me put one on here. Juggernaut. Oh, I don't have Wormhole on here either. I gotta write Wormhole. I guess there's 28. Hey viewer, how's it going? Alright, so Frozen. In case you're wondering how I can see this, Waller, Wormhole, Frozen. In case you're wondering how I can see this, I'm using friggin' Frozen, that's what it is. Okay, so that's it. Alright, so as I said, how I'm actually seeing the affixes on this is I'm using Turbo HUD so I can actually see what affixes are coming up and where they are for purposes of this video. As I said, I've used this before, I just don't give a shit about this game. Alright, so here we go. I don't have that, so that's not going to matter. This is going to help me out. Alright, so we have Arcane, Fire Change, Waller, and Orbiter. Arcane, Fire Change, Waller, Orbiter. Reflect damage, vortex, orbiter, thunderstorm. Reflect damage, orbiter. Wait, I think it's orbiter. Reflect damage, thunderstorm, and vortex. Probably going to wind up dying a lot during this. Oh, reflect damage too. So that's it on that. Alright, Orbiter, Teleport, Illusionist, Electrified. Illusionist, Orbiter. Teleporter, Electrified. Oh, an illusionist. I got that. Okay. So the fact remains, right now, Orbiter has shown up 3 times, Waller's shown up twice. Anybody who thinks that is balanced out of all of these is ridiculous. That is far from balanced. Let's see here. So we got Avenger, Frozen, Mortar reflects damage. Avenger, Mortar. I think it's Frozen and reflect damage. No, it's Avenger. Yeah, Avenger. There we go. Okay, so now we have Fast, Illusionist, Plagued, and Poison Enchanted. Plagued and Poison Enchanted. It also shouldn't be taking me that long to kill an illusionist, because illusionists have entirely way too much health. I don't know what the hell it is with that, but like if you use a necromancer, you'll see the difference that when you're killing an enemy, all of a sudden it'll just stop and then it'll take forever. So you got illusionist, thunderstorm, and arcane enchanted. Alright, these enemies should not be moving that fast. Alright, so arcane, thunderstorm, illusionist. I think it's illusionist. And thunderstorm. That's what it was. I'll have to take a look at that because I think I might have written it down wrong. I don't think I did though. I think thunderstorm's been up here 3 times. It's one good thing about recording it. You get to go back and look. Alright, so that's the first run. So now let me go jack just to increase this. I'll do this. I don't want to do that until it's at 5, until I can actually get it through at 5. Alright, so what we're going to do is take a look at this when we're done with both of these runs. It would help if I went through. Repair. Let's do this. Alright, so let's try this now. Alright, again, 75. Here we go. Alright, so we have Molten, Teleporter, Missile Dampening, and Frozen Pulse. Molten, Teleporter, Missile Dampening, Frozen Pulse. Molten, Missile Dampening, Frozen Pulse, Teleporter. Electrified, Frozen, Knockback, Molten. Let's see here. That's a little over. There we go. Frozen teleport. Fire chains, electrified. Alright, electrified, fire chains, frozen teleport. Alright, so let's see here. Electrified fire chains. Frozen teleporter. Alright, so we have Mortar, Poison Enchanted, Horde, Waller, Horde, Poison Enchanted, Mortar. Alright, so we have Avenger, Desecrator, Poison and Enchanted Waller. Avenger. Desecrator. Poison Enchanted Waller. Alright, so we have Nightmarish, Poison Enchanted, Shielding Thunderstorm. Nightmarish, Poison Enchanted, Shielding Thunderstorm. Nightmarish. Oh, it's also got shielding on it. Alright. Nightmarish, Thunderstorm. Nightmarish, Thunderstorm, Poison Enchanted, and Shielding. Alright, so far we have a really ridiculous unbalancing issue with this. Put my shield up so I can freaking go do this. Find other elite packs. Alright, so there's an elite pack. Desecrator, Fire Chains, Orbiter, Shielding. Desecrator. Fire Chains. Orbiter and Shielding. Here we go. Cool. So, Arcane, Healthlink, Orbiter, Vortex. Arcane Enchanted. Orbiter. Healthlink. Arcane, Healthlink, Orbiter. Vortex. Electrified mortar plagued shielding. Electrified mortar plagued shielding. Alright, so flip this down. Okay, so one last run, and then I'm going to fix this. Here we go. Alright, so this is going to be the last one. So after, like I said, after 3 runs, we're going to tally up and see what the balance is on this. Oops, I just salvaged a puzzle ring. Oops. Guess I just salvaged the convention of elements. Alright, so what I gotta do is fix this and get more keystones. So this is gonna be a good idea to see what's up with the other ones. Hey, how's it going, viewer? So let's see what this one wants to bring. Alright, so that is shielding, thunderstorm, and wormhole. Alright, so shielding, thunderstorm, wormhole, and reflect damage. Motherfucker, every time I'm trying to go to do something, this thing fucks me over. Flex damage, shielding, minion. Alright, flex damage, shielding. Alright, so fuck out of here. I'm not gonna actually. I'm just gonna plow through this. I'll get the. I'll do this on the greater rift since that's what it's gonna be. So, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, viewer, I have a list of elite affixes up in the corner that you can see, and there's numbers next to them. The number 1 isn't. I'm using that as a marker reference. It's not like one time, it's just the number of ones in there are how many times that affix has appeared on a greater rift. And so the point of this is to prove that the greater rifts are completely unbalanced when it comes to how Blizzard has them set up. Because if you have this many affixes on the elites, what winds up happening is you can't have RNG work picking certain affixes more than others. And my whole point is the mortar affix has shown up more than anything, which is the reason behind that is because of the necromancer build of Corpse Lance. Since that has made it its an appearance with the devastation level that it actually has, Blizzard had to increase the frequency of ranged damage, preventing it from taking over. Because Blizzard can't have a build, you know, doing its respective thing without slowing it down. So there's a lot of shit that Blizzard does that they stop because of this. And then what they do is when somebody finds out how to not to slow it down, Blizzard adds in what they removed to slow it down, or they add in some other equivalency. So, for example, the reason that Blizzard removed Health Link is because it was slowing the game down. So, they removed extra health from slowing the game down because it was slowing rift progression down. And then they decided to add Health Link and Juggernaut, which is literally the same thing. Because Juggernauts, it's not the amount of health on the Juggernaut. By the way, that's the second mortar that's been inside here. This one has mortar on it. This one also has mortar. So there's 3 mortars on this right now. If I was keeping track of this, you'd see how ridiculous this is. So right now there shouldn't have been 3 mortars because the game's picking them. The RNG is broken on this. And there's too many people who think that the rifts are balanced. Yeah, right. They either don't know what the mortar again. This is the 4th mortar on this. These are also mortar. Both of these elite packs right here have mortar on them. That is 5 mortars in under 2 minutes on all these elite packs. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, like I said, Blizzard increased the frequency of how often mortar shows up because it's to circumvent the distance, the range distance from Corpse Lance. Now, obviously, people said, no, that's not true and everything else. Really? I really wish I had it on video. Mortar happened on 15 elite packs that within 3 greater rifts. It was ridiculous. I counted them. 15 mortars. It was retarded. Yet that's balanced. So that's the whole point of this. So now I'm going to go into a greater rift because I have 2 keystones now. All right. All right, so 75 again. Oh, you know what? I forgot to actually put, whoops. I have the wrong build on. This is terrible. Whoops. Healthlink Molten Orbiter Vortex. Healthlink Molten Orbiter Vortex. Healthlink Orbiter Molten Vortex. Missile dampening, nightmare, plagued, poison, and missile dampening, nightmarish, plagued, poison, enchanted. I have to keep an eye on the time. Alright, so now we have Health Link, Knockback, Molten Teleporter. Health link, knockback. Teleporter. Molten. I totally have the wrong friggin' thing for this. I forgot to switch the build. This is hilarious. I could have just started over, but forget that. There we go. Alright, so far I got Molten, Waller, that's all I can see. Molten, Waller, Vortex, Mortar. Alright, so let's see here. Speed Pylon. Arcane, Mortar, Vortex, Waller. Arcane. Arcane. Mortar. Vortex, Waller. Mortar. Missile dampening, mortar, nightmarish. Mortar. Missile dampening, nightmarish. Poison enchanted. What the frig? Poison enchanted. Molten is one of them. Molten, frozen, horde, vortex. Molten, frozen, horde, and vortex. I need to go back to town and repair. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I take it you play Diablo 3? If so, you might find this video or this series of videos that I'm doing extremely interesting. I'm doing 3 of each run, and there's different things that I'm counting each time I do the run. So in this particular one, it's the affixes on the elites. I don't have the right build for this anyway. Fucking mortar again. So it's mortar, plagued, poison, enchanted, shielding. Mortar, plagued, poison, enchanted, shielding. Save this. Really? Alright, so we have Thunderstorm, Vortex, Teleport, Orbiter. So let's see, Thunderstorm, Orbiter, Vortex, There's literally nothing that can kill me. There's that, but he's friggin', I'm just getting killed in the middle of nowhere for absolutely no reason at all. God, this is so annoying that the window keeps shrinking. Alright, so this is the basic end result of this. And so what we have here, I started off this video at the beginning by I didn't realize that there were 28 affixes. I had 27, which changes something, but not much. Friggin' spend some of these shit. Let me get this straightened out, and then I'm going to do a different one. I'm going to do the... I got to get my friggin' blood shards off of there. Yeah, quiver. Can't believe I forgot to friggin' do my, forgot to change my build before I went in there. I was going in with just a regular rift build. That was terrible. Burning axe or whatever the hell that was. Alright, so Wrath of the what? Moon King. Interesting. And so did I spend all those? Yeah. I gotta go down and get them now. So that's no good. That's all set. Okay, so what we have, just to quickly bring you up to speed in case you weren't watching or you just got here, what I basically have in the corner up above the live chat is a list of elite affixes, and the whole point of this video was to do 3 runs and count how many times each affix came up. And the reason for that is because it proves that the greater rifts are unbalanced. Because if you have an entire list of this many affixes that elites can pick from or RNG can pick from, what happens is, what's going on in this list, the number of ones I have there is the number of times the affix actually showed up in the rift between 3 of them. These were greater rifts only. I didn't apply regular rifts because I did one in between here. And what I had basically said was mortar has been increased exponentially simply because of the Corpse Lance build. So whenever a build becomes obnoxious, Blizzard will do something to kill the build's ability to be able to overpower everything. And so what winds up happening is this video also doubles over to show that people who think the elite affixes are balanced have no idea what they're talking about, or they're trolling. Either that, or they don't understand what the definition of balanced means. Because if you have this many elite affixes, right, there's 28 of them. And basically the way you look at the balances is you divide, you figure out what times what equals the entire number. And then, like, I originally had 27, so at the beginning of the video, 3 times 9 is 27. That puts the percent at either 3% for each affix to show up, or 9%. But either way, there is no way one can be picked more than the other if it's actually RNG. And there are people who actually argue and say that's possible. Not with a list this big. Some overlapping, yes, but not this extent. If you're seeing this type of Jailer didn't even show up once that I saw. Fast only showed up once. Desecrator showed up twice. Molten, Mortar, Orbiter, Poison Enchanted, Vortex, Waller are the top elite affixes that Blizzard has programmed into the game as a retarded number. This is completely unbalanced. Anybody who thinks this is balanced is an idiot. And so basically what you have here is, even under 3 runs, this shouldn't have happened. So I don't really know what to tell. I don't really know how to explain this any further to people. But if you this, I should not have seen that many orbiters in 3 runs and never saw 1 Jailer and only saw 1 Fast or 1 Frozen Pulse. That's not even balanced. In three greater rift runs at level at GR 75, you cannot tell me that's balanced. Yeah, there was only 1 Juggernaut, but that's besides the point. The point here is that that's the type of shit I'm talking about. All of these, this should have shown up. All of these should have shown up. You know, one I get would happen more than the other, but not this many of them. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 orbiters? Really? Then there's Poison Enchanted, Vortex, Waller. But the other one is the Mortar here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why is Mortar even showing up that much? That's ridiculous. So we don't have any Jailers. We have 2 Hordes. Only 1 Frozen Pulse, 1 Fast, 2 Desecrators, 2 Avengers. Really? And then we have 1 Wormhole, which I don't understand. I know a Vortex and Wormhole, but that's besides the point. But this should not be going on in any way, shape, or form. Alright, so now what the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and show the frequency these abilities are being posted at. Because when you do the abilities on these affixes, what needs to wind up happening... Hi, honey. What needs to wind up happening is there are certain affixes that just trigger in a rapid succession, which shouldn't be happening. So again, this isn't just about the unbalancing of the elite affixes. This is also the unbalancing of how often these affixes, the ones that do show up, are triggered off. And then on top of that, I'm going to go after and show the amount of the types of enemies that are in there to show that's also unbalanced. And then as well as the areas in the rifts. So this is a small series of segments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this stream, then start up another one with the enemy monster types. And then we're going to keep track of how many enemy types are in there. Not how many enemies, but the enemy types. And we're going to see the frequency on how often they show up to show out of all of the lists, this shouldn't be going on. Then I'm going to repeat the procedure. I'm going to repeat the procedure with the Greater Rift areas to show that the areas are just the same. This game is a whole list of areas, and yet the same ones are getting favored over and over again. That's broken. That's not balanced at all. So I'm going to end this stream. I'm going to end this now, and then give me a second to write. Give me a minute or two to find the entire list of every monster that's in this game. You know, for the generalized areas, and then I'll start it back up and we'll keep track of that. But I'm gonna keep track of I'm gonna keep this list as it is. So we'll stop this and I'll talk to you in a few minutes.